Hello there, welcome back. I'm Melissa. Thank you for joining me today. It is later in the day, heading towards the evening hours, and I'm going to be chopping some Monstera Albo with you here in a little bit. And I'm also going to pop on, I haven't decided tomorrow or Saturday which day would be better to finish up with. I have a lot more Monsteras that I want to chop in there, so I figured I would combine it into one video. So in my plant room, I have my big Monstera Aurea that I've been air layering the top node. It's actually been a little bit delayed in getting that chopped. It is extended beyond that now, so I think it'll still be fine. It'll just have grown a little bit more. So I'm gonna get that cut and I'm going to chop the rest of the plant up so I can make a bunch of propagations. So I'll do that with you. And then I also have another Monstera Albo that I'm chopping all the way back. I'm going to completely get rid of that. I'm tempted to chop another one, although I haven't decided what I want to do. I just feel like I have a lot of Monsteras and they're growing and they're getting big, and so I need to make some room. But yeah, I have 3 Monstera Albos right here that live, I'm here in the shop room. These live on the top shelf up here. And so I have, these are technically like mother plants, so these have regrown and I'm ready to chop them back again. I'll show you these here in a minute, but one of them was a like propagation from my big Albo that's in my plant room, and so it's starting to grow. I haven't decided if I want to chop that one yet so soon already, but I might. And I have some glass vases here. I'm going to water prop these. That's what I prefer when I root Monstera Albo. They root so easily in water for me. And these ones I'm going to leave here in my shop room. I'm going to empty a shelf so I can have like a ton of water vases. And then the Monsteras that are in my plant room, since I don't have any extra room in here, I think I'm going to get a table that's in the garage and set it up in there. And I will be farming Monstera in my plant room as well. So yeah, I'm going to be growing a lot of Monstera here coming up. Yes, hi Chai. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get you turned around here and we'll show you these Albos. Go ahead and get those chopped and set up and get that taken care of. And then we'll, like I said, come back here either tomorrow or the next day and do my Monsteras in my plant room. So yeah, we have 3 big Monsteras. So the Monsteras that I have here, they got a full water yesterday. I wanted them to be like super hydrated and plump before I go to chop them. So everyone got like a really deep water, and there's ladybugs crawling on these everywhere. But yeah, let me go ahead and show you them and we'll get to chopping. So this is my most recent restart, this one here. I did cut the original leaf away. It was kind of getting a little brown in some spots, so I chopped it away, but this was restarted from my big Albo that's in my plant room. So I do have like a top node and I could take a mid cut. So I'm thinking I might go ahead and do that with this one. Look at those aerial roots. So funny. But yeah, it's potted into a 5-inch pot and it's pretty rooted already, but I'm going to leave it in here. Those aerials are so cool, but the top leaves are so pretty. You have a highly variegated one like this one here, and this one, that would be the top cut, the 2-leafer, and then the mid cutting would be this leaf right down here. And I think that's all I would take from this one. And this one is a regrowth. I had chopped this back all the way before, all the way down here, and she's got some beautiful leaves. Oh, this is the one that I was thinking about not chopping. Oh no, because it's doing half moons and it's still doing half moons. Oh, I don't think I want to chop this one. Yeah, because that's a half moon, that's a half moon, half moon, half moon, half moon, half moon. It's always been like a dream of mine to have a sectoral half moon variegated Monstera Albo where it's just like split down the middle, 1/2 green, 1/2 white, all the way. I've seen those before and they are just stunning. So mine is doing this pattern now, so I'm like, I don't know if I want to mess that up. And this is another restart. I had chopped this back twice before. This one's grown a little bit more. She's beautiful. This one has more marbling, so it's a little bit different than some of my other Monsteras. But this new leaf here in the center just emerged. It is beautiful. So I would do like a 2-leaf top cut, and then I could probably do 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd probably do like 4 mid cuttings because again, I only want to chop like 2/3 of the plant. I want to leave about 1/3. Okay, I think I am going to stand and do this. I think that's the most comfortable. I have shears and an X-Acto knife. I'm probably going to end up using the X-Acto knife, but I'm going to clean both of these with alcohol. I have a bunch of these alcohol wipes that I found in a Ziploc bag in my pantry, so I'm using these first. I think these are like super old, but they're still moist. And I'm going to let these callus for about an hour. I'll just go do some other stuff and then pop on and we'll get them into water, but I like to let the ends just kind of dry. You can let them callus overnight if you want, but I really only need like an hour. Like once the ends aren't wet anymore, then you can stick them straight into water. Okay, oh, she's gonna be a beautiful top cut. And I do have, I'll link my Monstera Albo video that I made, was it last year? I have a more in-depth propagation video on Monstera Albo. It goes into a lot more details. But yeah, basically you have your top cut, which grows from the top leaf. The new leaf emerges from here. So once you cut in between the nodes, the new growth from the mid cuts come from the axillary, which is right there, the little eyeball thing. So that's where the new growth comes in. So you're basically cutting in between each of the leaves, and the mid cutting's that little growth point. So you just don't want to cut into that when you're cutting in between. So yeah, let's go ahead and do our top cut here. And perfectly clean slice right there. Oh, she's pretty top cut. I love Monstera Albo. Where's the little eyeball? There it goes. I want to try, well, I guess I am going to have to cut that aerial root because it's like going back into the soil here. There we go. So we're going to cut below that. And these aerial roots we're going to cut off because they're too long. So 1, 2, and 3. You don't need long aerial roots. They'll grow a ton of roots off of these ones. So yeah, the little eyeball, I actually kind of cut that a little close, but that's where the new growth will come in on that mid cut, that little eyeball right there. So that is our mid cutting. That's a really pretty leaf. I'm like, do I cut that one too, or do I leave it? I think I'm going to leave it because the aerial root is down in the substrate and I'll let that regrow from there. So the plant is so short now. That's okay. So we got 2 cuttings from her. And so these we will set aside to callus. Oh, there's a ladybug in that one. We'll use one of these trays. So I'm going to lay all my cuttings in here to kind of dry. And then yeah, I did actually hose the leaves off yesterday when I took these all to my shower to hose them off. So the leaves are pretty clean. Okay, so that is that one. So now we have our big girl here. Yeah, the aerials are just now coming out with this one here, but that's okay. I'm going to cut right below those little bit of aerials. The stem is getting a bit thick. And that's where she'll root right there. Oh, that's a beautiful top cut. So pretty. Oh, ladybug. Ladybug. And let's do a mid cut here. Okay, and again, I'm going to cut this aerial about there. Mid cut. Another mid-cut. Oh, I'm sorry, ladybug. Oh, I was watering. I took these to the tub to hose them off because they live in here. And I don't always like hose them off, the mother plants that are in here. So I have some pothos. I have a Mandula and Just Sienna. And I took them to the tub to like give them a good little drench, hose them off, and a sea of ladybugs came out of my Just Sienna. It was insane how many ladybugs were hiding in there. Yeah, it was nuts. There were so many ladybugs, and it's been about 3 weeks since I released them. It's crazy how many ladybugs are still alive. Beautiful mid-cutting. I think I'll probably just do 2 more. So this one's actually growing back down in here, but that's okay. I'm just gonna cut this aerial root that has grown. Ooh, she's gorgeous. Look at that leaf. I remember this leaf when it was emerging. This one here, because it was so pretty, so white. Go ahead and cut that aerial root. Okay, another root cut. And this is our plant. She's so short now. I don't need the stake anymore. Well, actually I'll leave it because once she regrows, it'll be here. If this half moon pattern continues, what I might do is do a top cut on her, like a top cutting, restart that plant for me. Oh, ladybug, scared me. That is something I could probably do. But yeah, I'm gonna hold off on her because I love the half moons. It's literally my favorite type of irrigation. It's beautiful. All right, so I will be back here in about an hour. I'll pop back on in just a second for you guys. I'm gonna let these ends callus and then we'll get them put into a thing of water. Okay, hi, it is much later. It's like 2 hours later. I'm gonna go ahead and get these put into some water. I don't know how many cuttings I have, but let's go ahead and just fill these. This is just regular tap water. I like this the best for monsteras. I usually change the water, I would say twice a week. Whenever the monstera stem, like if you notice the cutting in your water vessel, like if you have any kind of like dead tissue, like peel that away. Anything that can potentially rot, you want to get rid of. And if you start getting anything slimy in your water, change the water. Just straight tap water. Make sure it's not like super cold or hot. And just change it if it starts getting goopy and gross. I would say like twice a week. I usually change it more often in the first week or 2, and then after that, you honestly could do it weekly. But if you notice anything gross with your water, just change it really quick. But yeah, the ends have completely dried and calloused. They are not wet at all, so that is good enough for me. And we'll do our first cutting. She's so pretty. This is such a beautiful top cut. Oh, she's gonna be so pretty for somebody. So yeah, we'll let her chill in water and root up for me. But yeah, she is gorgeous. That is one. Where's our other top cut? Oh, she's even more pretty with that leaf. Wow. Okay, we'll do her in one. Like so. Chai has been following me around. He just like wants, it's like late at night, so he wants his cuddles. Usually my husband, he's still working right now, but usually he goes to my husband, but when he can't go to my husband, he tries to go to me for cuddles. Okay, I just had to fix that for a minute. Chai. Okay, another mid-cut, or this is the first mid-cutting. Beautiful. And we have 3 vessels here. I have so many glass vases. I probably have like 20 more in my closet. Back when I was farming all those Monstera albos over the spring, oh my gosh. I'll have to double one of them up here unless I get a separate jar. So there's another one like so. And we'll do 2 in this one because this, yeah, we'll do 2 in this one. Double that one up. Just enough water. Do 1 in that one. And that one. All right, I cleared out 1 shelf here for Monsteras, and these will fit here, but yeah, any other Monstera props will be going into my plant room. So we'll just kind of stack these all here. I did find another vessel, so I separated them out. I'm gonna do the top cuttings over here. So there is a look at them. I could probably fit like 2 more right here, but I'll probably leave it so they don't get extremely squished. So yeah, they're kind of right here so I can actually see when they're rooting and when they're starting to root. And then I'll probably change this honestly in a couple of days. I'll just empty all this out. And I usually rinse the vessels as well, just rinse them under some hot water and then just refill with tap water and you're good to go. So they should root fairly quickly. Since it is getting late, I'm gonna get wrapped up here, clean up my mess, and I'll have to decide. I have some other watering to do tonight, so I'll go ahead and get that done, and then I'll have to decide if I want to do the rest of the Monsteras in my plant room tomorrow or if I want to do it Saturday. I'll have to see, because sometimes I like to plan out my days, but sometimes I like wake up and I'm not in the mood to do it. So it'll happen in one of the next 2 days, but I'll be back on whenever that date is. But yeah, I will be back shortly and we'll finish up the rest of the Monsteras. Welcome you guys. It is day 2 of chopping my Monsteras and it's plant room time. It's gonna be a hot few hours in here. It's 80.7 degrees and 50% humidity. Those are the conditions I'm working in. But I'm ready to get them chopped. I'm gonna start with my Monstera Aurea because I feel like it's big and it'll give me the little push to go ahead and finish the rest of them. I'm not gonna do the big Monstera today, although I would love to chop it back, but I don't want to overwhelm myself with so many Monstera props because I want to consolidate this other albo and I'm gonna have to see. I might do the other ones next time around because yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of propagations. I don't know, let me see if you can see. So down here, oh no wait, this way, down here on the floor, I have water, jugs with fertilizer. I have in that thing, I have tons of glass vases. And I brought in moss, I have some water containers, and I have shears, alcohol. I think I have everything I need to chop. I have my pot in my closet. I hope I have enough rinsed. I didn't think about that because I should have enough at least for the Monstera Aurea top cut because that's the air layer that I'm going to do first. And then the other ones that I chop, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be downsizing them, like getting rid of the container. Like this other albo, I'm going to chop all the way back and get rid of that. I'm not keeping that one growing. It was the bottom half of Big Girl over here. So this big Aurea here at the window, that's in soil there. She's the one I'm getting ready to chop. She has been growing for a while. And that little sack there is where I air layered. And she's extended now, I think 2 more nodes past that, but that's okay. I just took her down. She's gotten huge. This is no, I have a new leaf here in the middle, but this was the one before, which is so pretty. I love the yellow variegation too. Oh no, wait, no, this leaf over here is really pretty. This one here, they're all pretty. The growth at the bottom, I've gotten a lot of browning, probably because she dries out fairly quickly now because she's been potted in here for a while. Oh shoot, the fan, whoops. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get her down and get you turned around and we'll start the chopping process. The moss in here is kind of dry. I've been hydrating this little bag, but it's been long overdue. Like I should have taken this plant out of here or chopped it a while ago. So I'll have to hydrate those roots, but I'm sticking it straight into pond, so it'll get hydrated. All right, so this is the little sock that we're working with. And what I'm gonna do is go ahead and make my incision so it can callus. And then by the time I get the rest of the plant chopped up and everything, we'll plant her into pond. It's gonna feel so nice, like getting this task done. Yes, Loon, I hear you. Okay, I was trying to see the last of the roots here. Oh yeah, okay, so that's what I'm gonna have to do. I actually might throw some water in here once I cut it. So, well, let me see if I can show you where I'm going to cut. Okay, so right here, the aerial roots right there. So I'm gonna cut on the stem like right here. That's where I'm gonna make the incision. Let's see where that, oh, there's a ladybug right there. I'm trying to see where the axillary bud is. Okay, it's so hard to show you. So there's an axillary bud right here. So I'm gonna cut above that. I just don't wanna cut into that or the cutting below won't grow. I cannot see anything because the sun's in my eyes. Okay, we're gonna go for it. And I just cleaned my X-Acto knife with alcohol. Timber! Crash. Ow, shit, ow. I just cut into myself, damn it. Okay, don't cut yourself like I did that. My finger's throbbing now. Be careful if you use an X-Acto knife. Okay, let me clean this again. Okay, so here is the top cutting. That is what we have that's going into pond. I actually have 2 nodes that are growing in here, so I actually might cut it again because I feel like that's a pretty big, tall top section. I feel like she's gonna get like huge again in no time. I might do that. Yes, I'm gonna do that, and I'll separate her out. So I basically have 2 nodes in here, but I don't need this tall of a plant. So I'm gonna carefully cut this again. So there's the little eyeball that I need to avoid. I'm gonna cut right above that. Okay, I'm gonna set that aside. And the rest of that should be pretty easy. I'm literally going to chop it all the way back. I'm actually getting rid of the plant itself. I'm not keeping this to regrow because I just have too many plants, too many plants, not enough real estate. I need to consolidate because I have another Aurea that's smaller that's growing, but I'm tempted to get rid of that one and just keep my top cut growing, my top plant. I feel like people aren't as into Aurea as they are with Monstera Albo because of the browning issue. I know they both brown, but Aurea browns more easily, I feel like. So that's a drawback, I feel like, to this plant. Choppy, choppy, choppy. Just have to avoid the eyeball. This is some thick stem too on this plant. So what I'll do is water pop these, and yeah, if there's an ugly leaf, like this one has an ugly leaf, I'm gonna cut it away, but I'm not gonna cut it until I get new growth because this will help encourage growth with an actual leaf on. It's gonna be so different not having that huge Monstera in that corner. Okay, I'm gonna chop these aerials. Chop, chop, chop. I didn't want to chop a ladybug. And this stem is so thick. Crazy aerial roots. Okay, another one bites the dust. she's getting short. Wow, so these are all the cuttings I have so far. That's crazy. There's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 maybe here. And then I have another, probably another couple that's down in the soil. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut up the rest of this. And then of course I'll probably use the same setup for the top cutting, except I'm planting it in pon. And so the base I'm going to get rid of. This is like an old mix, but I might try to reuse what I can. But this whole thing is probably all rooted. I can tell that it's like super rooted. But once I get this out, I'll show you how rooted this is because I'm actually very curious. All right, I chopped the remaining nodes. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 mid cuttings. And there was a node without any kind of leaf. So I have a chunk. So yeah, what I'm gonna do is hose these off in my shower. Most of the leaves I probably will be chopping away once new growth emerges because some of them just have like yellowing, browning. They're just like old leaves. You know, they've been on the plant for a while. It's not like a new fresh leaf. So I'm gonna rinse these off and get all the dirt and everything off. And then I'll let them callus while I'm chopping some other monsteras. And then very last, we'll fill all the water vessels up. What? Oh my goodness, you can't have up in the window. Oh yeah, and I have to get our top cutting put back into pon. But I love these coco coir poles, the ones that have the PVC pipe because they don't rot. So since it was in the soil, I'm just gonna hose this down as well. So I'm gonna put this in my container and I'm gonna hose the stake off because it has some dirt. I'm gonna stick this in there as well. Okay, the Monstera is here, the Aurea. So that is going to air dry. Those are all clean. And then I have 2 Monstera albos here. This one I was gonna keep growing, but I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of it because I don't need this Monstera albo because I have another one at the window that I'm not chopping and I have this big one. This one was actually imported. They had it under a different name, but it's just a regular Monstera albo. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and chop it all the way back and this will be one last plant in here. And then the other one, like I said, is this one here. This one's been struggling lately. It's been giving me so many white leaves, like all white. This was the bottom of my big one. It's in pon. So I'm gonna chop this all the way back as well and get rid of it. But yeah, this will be 2 less plants in here, which will be so nice because I feel like I need the space for sure. Yeah, I won't bore you to death with chopping all of these because it's pretty much, you know, gonna be the same process. We're gonna do a top cut and then all of our mid cuts. Oh, she's pretty. She's so pretty. This one will be really easy to do. Little tiny baby, baby node. And then we have one more node under the soil here, or under the pond. Ah. That's interesting. So we might have a few nodes here that could possibly activate on this bottom chunk. But I'm gonna cut the roots away and we'll kind of see what grows in. I'm gonna cut this here. So we'll have a little chunk. And then this one, this node was used to grow this, but this is 2 nodes. So this will grow and this will grow. So I have 3 wet sticks. Yeah, so we'll have self-watering pots and then some pond to recycle. It's getting ready to storm. It's gotten dark. Just ignore the fact that I'm bright red. It is hot. It's so hot. I just got through rinsing all the albo cuttings. So I have another whole tray of Monstera albo. And then I probably have, oh gosh, I don't even know. There was so many like empty nodes. I probably have like 10 to 12 wet sticks of albo. So all the wet sticks I'm going to set up in a propagation bin, and then all the cuttings, oh, ladybug. He survived the wash, do you see him? All the ladybugs, all the ladybugs, all the cuttings I want to do in water. But I think that's all the chopping I'm going to do. I did 2 albos and an aurea. I think that's it, because yeah, I have to water in here and I have a lot to do this evening. So I was going to use the same pot that the albo was in, like this one, but it's a little bit big. So I found this one in my closet. I think this is a 9x8, which is definitely big for the root system, but it'll grow into here because it's a pretty hefty top section. So I have that, and then this is all like rinsed pond. This is like recycled. I'm gonna go through this first before I use like the clean stuff that I have. I think I'm gonna stand and work on this table because I need to stand under the fan. It's so hot. All right, we're gonna work on this root system. Let me see if I can get a little closer here. Gosh, I let her go a little too long in the sphagnum moss. Oh, whoopsies. All right, so we did cut her in half here. So, okay, I'm gonna have to peel all this moss away. Well, this is gonna take a bit. I might have to come back on. I'm just gonna sit under this fan and pluck the moss away. See, I let it go too long because this is going to be a pain. Okay, yeah, I'm going to sit here and peel this and I'll be back on once we're ready to pot her. Okay, well that was quick. I did something stupid. Oh gosh, basically this air layer was a complete waste of time because I let it overgrow. So I was like pulling apart the 2 cuttings, and this is like all that I have with the top cut. And this is like one little root that was ripping, and the bulk of the root system is with the cutting. See, I should have just left it alone, because now I'm not going to have a root system to go into pond. I'm going to plant it in pond, but there's just no really saving this. I'm going to cut all this away because I'm going to re-root this in water. It's just too tangled. It's a complete waste of time. Okay, so we have one more cutting to add to the list. I need to rinse this one though, since I rinsed all the others. Here is our pot. I'm almost wondering if I should stick her in water first. You know what? No, I'm gonna plant her in here and see how she does. And if she's not doing good in like a week or so, then I'll take her out and stick her in water. But I'm just gonna plant her like this and see how she does. But the end is pretty dry, so it's nice and calloused over. It's probably been a good couple hours since I started. And okay, So that's the back of the pot. And then I'm gonna stick this pole down in here once I get her potted here. And then I have 2 aerial roots. I have this root and then the 2 aerials are going to be down in here. So hopefully that's enough. When I did it to my Tycon, it didn't root, but when I did it to another Monstera, it did root. So I think as long as I keep it consistently moist and not like let it go completely dry, it should hopefully be fine. We're gonna stick this down in here. I have to go off to the side. I'll go down this way. Actually, that's where the aerial root is. I'm gonna go on this side. And then I'm just going to secure right here 1 piece of Velcro. And she's gonna look a little funny until she straightens out here. I think I damaged the new leaf a little bit. I like dinged it accidentally. She's looking a little lopsided. I want her to like go like that so that she's all straightened out. She's gonna take a bit. I have a little browning here. I'm gonna snip it, I don't care. She's got a lot of pretty variegation, especially this leaf. Holy moly. All right, let's water her through. This is just regular water. Just gonna rinse the pond through really well. I'm gonna add a little bit of like nutrient water in here just to add a little bit so it doesn't go completely dry. My battery died, whoops. So here's her backside. I ended up taking some string and just pulling the vine, the petiole up a little bit to the pole. It's not really like, it can still move, it's not stuck, so it's fine. It's just what I like to do. I like to tie the petioles a little bit. It just like brings them up a little off the shelf. It just like makes it more compact. It's just what I prefer. Okay, and then from the front, what a beauty. It's like a whole new plant. Well, it is a whole new plant. That yellow is stunning. So I'll see, I'll be able to know in like 7 to 10 days if she's like drooping any, then I know she's not rooting. She should root just fine in here though. She's got 2 aerials and a 3rd one, so it should be fine. It should be fine. But if not, I'll take her out and put her in water. She's definitely gonna size down for sure the next leaf after this, but that's okay. At least I have her back to a normal size. I like when they're like this, when they're, you know, you can manage them better than them being like a huge giant plant. Hello, it is the next day. It is in the afternoon and I wanted to fill you in and update you after we left off yesterday. I was up until, I think I finished about 2:30 in the morning and I am so tired. But I'm pushing through. I'm actually taking the evening off, which will be so nice. We're getting ready to leave here in a little bit. So it'll be nice to just not do plant stuff for an evening. I haven't really taken time to just not do plant stuff. So it'll be nice. I'm looking forward to it. But so what I did after I got done chopping, I needed to water my plant room. So I was working on that. And then the big Monstera Albo that was here, I'm like, this has to go somewhere. It's driving me crazy. So then I started like rearranging. And then I'm like, you know what, this plant, I just don't really want this plant in my collection anymore. I'm gonna go ahead and chop it up. And so hours later, I'm like rearranging my plant room, getting rid and downsizing plants, rearranging, you name it. The plant room, I mean, it looks the same, but to me it looks so different. And then after I was done, I'm like, okay, I gotta bring all these Monstera cuttings back in here. So I have a table and they're all on a table. There's so many cuttings. And then I have the ones that are in the shop room. And then I had, I think, 13 wet stick nodes. And then I set those up in a propagation bin. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip this around so I can show you what I did. And yeah, I think the albos and Aurea cuttings are gonna stay here in my plant room for the foreseeable future until they start growing and I can start letting some go. The ones that have ugly leaves, I'm not gonna sell them with ugly leaves on. I'm just keeping them on for photosynthesis purposes right now. And then once I get new growth, I'll cut the original leaf away. It's just what I want to do. I just don't want to sell plants with questionable, like, ugly leaves. And by ugly, I mean browning. Some of them have like marks and mechanical damage, stuff like that, because some of these leaves are like years old on my plants, you know, and I want them to be pretty for somebody. And then Miss Aurea is actually doing well. I wanted to come in and just make sure she's not like declining, because I ruined that air layer thing, but honestly she looks good, so I think she's going to be just fine and root up in there really well. So yeah, let me go ahead and flip this around. It is a really sunny day today. Sorry for the bright lights. You can actually see the sun catcher on the Monstera. Isn't that pretty? So yeah, Big Mama, I ended up moving here in the corner. It honestly was like the best spot for her. And I feel like she's going to, one, appreciate the sun that's coming in right now. And then I have a grow light in front, and then I also have the grow light up top. So I feel like she's gonna get plenty of light. And that's like the perfect spot for her, honestly. That's where Adansonia used to be. So yeah, she can keep on growing. I don't have to worry about chopping her back anytime soon. And the plants up here are a lot more spaced out, which is so nice. So the big Aurea is here on the end. The leaves look nice and firm still. I don't see like any droopiness or anything. And the new leaf still looks really good. I love her this size. This is like the perfect size for me. I wish she could kind of stay like this size, like her leaves would never go brown, and it's just like the perfect little plant. And this albo here, this is my like original one that I had from back in the day. It's regrown like all new leaves, but I really like the size that she's at as well. I love them together. And then here's the other Aurea here on the end. I was thinking about chopping this one back, which I still might do just to clear up another plant space, but I'll hold off for a while because I have all these props to handle and everything. And then Flame, we'll get her air layered here probably in another month. Yeah, I kind of rearranged all sorts of plants. I rearranged this back corner over here too. My Monstera Thai is actually working on a new leaf. I had chopped that one and propagated it and everything. So once that one grows, I'll have to find a spot for it. And then yeah, I kind of put some plants there, and I have real shields here. But on the bottom, I have some propagation trays because I don't have any room in my shop room right now. I beheaded a couple allocation down there that you can see. And there's gigas. I chopped my gigas pole all the way back. It wasn't technically a moss pole, it was just on like a clear support. So that's like the huge top leaf, pretty big. It's a huge leaf. And so I chopped up what I could on some plants, and so there's a bunch of wet sticks in there. And then this one here is all Monstera albo. So these are all the wet sticks from my chop yesterday. So I have so many. I'm excited to see what's going to grow. What I'll probably do is once I get some roots and maybe like a growth point activation, because some of these may rot, that just happens. So the healthy ones that end up surviving, I'll probably like list them pretty inexpensively on my site for those that are interested in a Monstera albo wet stick. But I'm gonna give them some time because I don't want one to rot on somebody. I want to make sure that it's going to do well. I had to take these two alocasia out of my cabinet. I'm redoing that soon, and then they're going to go right back in there. I hated to take them out, but they're getting too tall. And here is the sea of Monstera cuttings. Holy moly. I have all the Albo in front, and then I have the Aurea in back. I had to double some of them up, but most of them are in individual cups of water. There's so many here, like it's literally insane. It's gonna be fun changing the water out on these like every 3 to 4 days for the first couple of weeks. I'm gonna have to get like a big jug of water and just like come refill them instead of taking them all to the sink. I chopped another couple of plants, so they're in water vessels here too. This one's really chunky too, look at that thing. Some thick vines. It's so funny having this big table in here. I'm gonna have to work around this when I'm watering, but it's gonna be here for a while because yeah, it's gonna take these a bit to grow. But I am just so like relieved in a sense that I did this. It honestly was a little bit of a weight that lifted off of me because it just feels so nice cutting plants back. So that's kind of what I want to maintain as they grow. I'll just restart them, and that way I can just keep them at a more petite size. I just want them like something that I enjoy, and I can style them a little bit differently, like rearrange and really create a space that I love. Thanks so much for coming along with me throughout this chopping process. I'll be sure to leave my other Monstera Albo propagation video down below because that went into more details, and any other videos I can find about Monstera Albo propagation. I'll leave those down there, but I'm excited. I think Monstera Albo is one of my favorite plants to propagate. I just enjoy growing them out and growing like a small plant from all the cuttings. So I'm excited to see these grow and to see what new leaves come in like. I just really enjoy chopping them and propping them. She'll be next here on the list too, my jungle mint. But thank you again so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. Or if not, then maybe just enjoyed hanging out with me today. I appreciate you guys, and I will talk to you again soon.